Alright, hello. I'm back again to playing the fairy song after being pretty busy with game development. Yeah, hello. Last time, we found the night, but not the right night. But hopefully we'll have better luck today, and also hopefully the wrong night doesn't own us or anything. So let's play. Okay. Actually, let me move out of the way too. Well, something like this, I guess. Kinda tricky, the text box is kinda big. Okay. The figure is standing beside me, his shoulders broad. He stands firm, his eyes are locked upon mine, or at least I think they are. They're kinda hard to tell with the helmet. Oh, let me get the gamepad, it will be easier to play with that. It's hard to tell because his face is obscured by a helmet. Yeah. He isn't wearing armor, Persian, but his shoulders are padded, as is his chest, and to cap things off, he even has a sword at his hip. Is he supposed to be a medieval knight? Well, the armor is kinda lacking, I guess. He wouldn't look out of place as a tourist guide in Warwick Castle, what with his wildly period inappropriate clothing. Maybe he took a wrong turn on the A46 and ended up out here. Well, I wonder why I put my glasses in the real world. Eyesight makes reading hard. Also more law appropriate, I guess. Okay, now I can actually see. He should be showing guests around historical ruins, cracking jokes about the weather, and letting young children try on his helmet all the while. My name's Al, and I'll be your guide, he'll say, grinning an uneven grin beneath his helmet. But right now, I'm Alfred, noble knight in the service of the good King William the Conqueror. Is that like a good king if you're a conqueror? Kinda adapted. This helmet's only a replica, of course, but it's heavy enough. By Jove, knights had it tough, the poor blighters. If you'd care to follow me, ladies and gents, our tour will shortly begin. Well, the main character sure has time to imagine this. But this knight doesn't have the easy self-effacing humor of my made-up tour guide. He doesn't laugh, doesn't joke. I can't see his face, but I doubt he's smiling. Young maiden, could it truly be? The knight doesn't try to approach me, but I take a trembling step back all the same. Can he see how afraid I am? Maybe he can hear the anxious beating of my heart. You do look a lot like her. You have Leofi's hair and her eyes. Like Leofi is the knight, I guess. You have pale skin and her snub nose. You and she are so very familiar. The knight's hand rests upon the hilt of his sword. But you are not her. I never said I was. I am. I swallow again. My throat feels parched, and my body won't stop shaking. I'm not Love, and I never meant to trick you, I promise. I don't even know if I'm pronouncing Love's name correctly. It doesn't sound like any modern 21st century name I know. Yeah, doesn't seem like he's too bad. Just like maybe confused by the situation. Or like more realistic style would probably fit. Oh, not that this type of style wouldn't work for BL2, like the just kiss him kind of game, like that had very cute style and it worked. A lot of girls at my school have weird names that are hard to pronounce and even harder to spell. Celtic names are in right now, and in my class alone there's an Alana, a Siobhan, a Mackenzie, but there's nobody called Leof. I'm just Marnie Lennox. I live in Grimsby with my mom and my dad, and I don't want any trouble. I never even wanted to go to Fenchapel in the first place. And I didn't mean to wander this far into the woods. I really am sorry. The knight observes me silently for a few moments, his fingers resting upon the hilt of his sword. Wonder like but they are both knights, but like you don't really know like if they are like allies or enemies. I guess like in the medieval times, like every village could have been enemies or something, depending on the ruler. Marnie. That's right, that's my name, I'm not Leof. Not Leof, she says, but she looks so much like her. Is it possible? Or you just said that she's not her? No, it can't be. The knight's fingers tighten about the hilt of his sword. Let me try to adjust the camera a little bit. You must be lying, just like every other accursed creature that lingers inside this forest. No, I'm not lying, I promise. What would I gain by that? I do not know. Don't ask me. I have no idea how you creatures work. You who look so very human, but aren't. Oh yeah, there was something about like some creature stealing like their persona, and then I'm not sure like which way around it works. Like, does it stay here or does it go to the real world? Well, assuming that this is not real world. You have toyed with me for centuries. Not content to let me die, you have trapped me here, showing me things that cannot exist, that should not exist. My love is dead, and you are mocking her memory for my own amusement. Oh, no longer. It is my duty to protect Leof's memory. I won't let it be tainted by the likes of you. Yeah, the knight is like... oh, kinda eager to use the sword, I guess. The knight draws his sword from his sheath with a metallic cry. Yeah, like that kinda sound effect you would make with the kitchen knife, basically. Well, I have been doing that kind of sound effect thingies. Actually pretty fun. You can get to be creative. I had hoped that his sword would be nothing more than a convincing prop, like something from a school play, but I was a little too optimistic. I don't know anything about swords, but I know enough to realize that this sword is the real deal. The tip has been filed into a sharp point, and the light makes it look sharper still. Discolored through it is with age. If this knight cuts me with that, I'll bleed out all over the forest floor, then I'll die. Yeah, most likely, yeah. This is not supposed to be that kind of game, hopefully. You are looking at me like a lost child. Do you seek to mock me? Please do not say that you doubt my resolve. No, that is, glance from left to right, searching fitfully for a way out. I don't think there's any way I can explain myself to this knight. He seems convinced that I'm some kind of sylph or a fairy, or maybe a wicked changeling that's stolen his beloved love's face. Normally, it would be easy to laugh off such accusations, but it's harder when it's coming from a fantastic feature like this. I feel so lost and confused. I'm almost beginning to wonder if he's right. Let us fight then. If you are so confident in your skills, we never said that we wanted to fight or had any skills. The knight charges forward. He must be skilled with a blade, whoever he is, because it seems to slice the air itself in two. I jump back just in the nick of time. If I'd been a fraction of a second slower, the tip of his sword would have been embedded between my eyes. Do not cover from me. It is of no use. I can't still my hand, even if you beg for mercy. It may run contrary to the rules of chivalry, but you spat in the face of decency when you dare to mock me so. Did we mock him? The knight's movements are graceful, just like rippling water. His sword flashes through the air, each strike aimed with fatal precision. It's all I can do to keep dodging. The knight should have stayed in the 8th century or whatever it is he came from, but it's comfortably clear. As much as I don't want to admit that this forest doesn't operate with normal logic. The lake shouldn't exist, and neither should the night that haunts its waters. But it does, and he does, and if I don't make a hasty retreat, he's going to carve me up like a Halloween pumpkin. Or like hopefully it's slow to run in an armor, but not that he has like full armor. I can't stay here another second longer. I have to run. Ha ha ha. I dash wildly through the forest, my breath falling from my lips in desperate pants. The soles of my shoes slap against the uneven forest floor. My twisted ankle aches, but I can't afford to listen to its protests. A few split seconds could be the difference between life and death. My hair screams out behind me. Streams. I bet I'm getting it all tangled, which is a pity. Everybody says my hair is one of my best features. You really are pretty, Mani. Your eyes are so blue, and your hair is so fair and blonde. You look just like a fairy. Probably not like the thing you need to think at this moment, but yeah, sure. At least I wouldn't if you didn't wear... At least you wouldn't if you didn't wear all that awful makeup. Well, she's a goth, so well. My mom says my white foundation and dark eyeliner makes me look like a cadaver. Daddy is slightly more generous. He says I look like a panda. I wanted to dye my hair black for a moment. Long time. I tried to broach the idea with my mom, but she almost hit the roof. And the main character, she likes to think of weird things while there is urgency to run. Judging by her reaction, you'd think I'd asked to get septum piercings or a tattoo. Both of which I think are pretty cool, but my mom sorely disagrees. In fact, I think mom would be more chill to no less perplexed if I came home with a skull tattooed on the inside of my wrist, then my hair dark black. Don't ask money and don't even joke about it. You can wear ripped fishnets and paint your nails black if you really want to. Though I clearly don't understand the appeal, but you can't touch your lovely hair. Is it really that big of a deal though? Mwah. It would be such a waste. I don't really get what is the obsession with blonde hair. Also give me a second, I want to try something, so be back in a second. Okay. Okay. There we go. I'll just get them back to the position. Okay. Yeah, sometimes well, I won't go into the details, but I'm not as expressive as I could be, I guess. Okay. Back to ranting about hair while running, I guess. My mom acts like dyeing my hair would be tantamount to murder. It's one thing she absolutely refuses to budge on. Yeah, well, I don't get why you would dye your hair, but also I don't get why it's such a big deal. And what is the obsession with blonde hair? I don't know. I had thought about dyeing my hair anyway, just to spite her, but I don't know if it's really worth it. I don't want to argue with my mom. I'll just dye it when I move away from home. Then she can't complain. It's a win-win situation, really. I've been looking forward to the day I can get rid of these Barbie-esque locks for years. But if I don't pick up the pace, that day will never arrive. Hopefully she has been running during all this time. I'll die. I don't look back, but I'm sure the night is hot on my heels. I feel like I have been running for hours, but I haven't made any progress. The trees cluster around me more tightly than ever, pressing in on me from all sides. The roots snake out from beneath the dirt, as though trying to trip me. It's like the whole forest is alive, and it's conspiring to bring about my downfall. Is this because I swore at the strange, disembodied voice I'd heard earlier? But that was supposed to be a different voice though, I think. If I had put on the good girl act I wear around my grandma, would it have come to my aid? Maybe it would have warned me about the night by the lake. Yeah, well, usually like you don't want to be like super nasty exactly to strangers. But it's too late now. I run and run and run, churning up the dirt beneath my trainers. My arms and legs are sore, and I can't taste bile on the tip of my tongue. My heart is hammering so hard, it feels like my ribs are going to splinter. I'm not used to all this exercise. I'm so not a PE kind of girl. I always try to feign having a period when PE rolls around, but Miss Whitman caught on to me. Either there's something very wrong with you, Money Lennox, or you're pulling my leg. Who has 4 periods in 1 month? Well, let's say that not many people. This is absolute, rock bottom, utterly abysmal luck. If only I had pushed myself harder when we did cross country, instead of pretending to have stomach cramps, then maybe this wouldn't be so hard. I could run like the wind, avoiding any and all obstacles. But I'm no superhero. I'm just Money Lennox, wannabe good girl, and I don't have any stamina, and I have had enough. I want to go home. I really can't believe it. Gran was right all along. I never should have ventured this far into the woods. I'll apologize to Gran for adopting her, and I'll apologize to Miss Whitman for lying to her. And I'll even take an interest in Aunt Leda's balmy palmistry nonsense. I'll atone for all the sins I have accumulated in my short little life, so please. I don't want to die. And one thing also, like, you could have just like said that you're sorry. Like, doesn't really cost anything, and well, could be less running with that. My right foot falls down against the ground with a dull, firm thud. At least it should, but instead it shears through the nothingness. The ground has gone. Yeah, like if this were like a humor game, like she would run in the air a little while and then like fall down and go like "Ow!" or something like that. The earth shears away like a giant stair step. The drop isn't all that steep. If I had to hazard a guess, I'd say it's 3, maybe 4 feet down to the ground, but I don't fancy my chances. I don't want to break my leg. That really would scupper my chances of escape. I teeter, trying to regain my balance, but it's no good. It's too late. I'm already falling. Time seems too slow to crawl. I feel the wind against my face, stinging my cheeks. The leaves of the forest rustle about me menacingly. When I strain my ears, I swear I can hear the sound of laughter. But perhaps that's my own adult, overactive imagination. My side hits the ground with a thud, roll over, winded, and gasp for breath, curled up on my side like a collapsible telescope. My palm flies out, trying to grab something, anything, but the world is still spinning, and a sharp spike of pain shoots up my arm. I think I must have pressed my hand right in a patch of stinging nettles, because my palm feels like it's on fire. Probably... well, the nettles would be like a better outcome than this likely is. My leggings are riddled with holes, and my shoulder is bleeding, and my right hand is covered in red welts. As for my hair, which my mother loves so much, well, the less said about that, the better. If my mother could see the sorry state of me now, she'd surely scream. But my mother isn't here, and neither is my father, nor my grandma. I'm on my own, and if I don't get back to my feet, that night will find me. No, if the night also wants to fly, I guess. I need to run. I push myself upright, desperately trying to bite back the pain. I'm relieved I can still walk. I haven't broken anything, though my body feels slow and sluggish, and my twisted ankle throbs. I hobble away as quickly as I can, searching here and there for somewhere to hide. It's like a crazy game of hide and seek. I used to play hide and seek with Ruby and Pearl all the time when we were little, and I was pretty good at it. Ruby and Pearl sounds like a Pokemon game, but sure. I have always been small, so it's easy for me to slip in the gaps and crevices others wouldn't think to look in. I have pretty sharp eyes too. I just need to pretend this is a game. It is a game, but that's like more meta, I guess. I can't think that my life's on the line. Then I'll be so paralyzed with fear I won't be able to keep moving. Where can I hide? I need to look. Look. And then I see it. There, not a few feet away, is a tall, stately tree. But it's not like the other trees in the area. This tree is particularly broad, and the base is all hollowed out. The cavity in the tree's base is rather small, half hidden by a fringe of leaves. But I think I could fit inside if I pressed my belly against the ground and crawled. I'm sure I can. If I can get there before the night finds me, I might be able to hide myself away inside the tree's trunk. Then I'll be safe. I change my course, still hobbling, my stingy fingers reaching out for salvation. I stoop to a crawl, wincing as loose twigs bite into my fingers, and make my way into the unknown. Rough bark scrapes around my shoulders. The tree pressed down on me from all directions. When I inhale, I can smell moss and dirt in the air, so overpowering it makes me feel lightheaded. It hurts to breathe, and my whole head is spinning. Maybe I'm crawling into Wonderland. Will the mossy ground give way beneath my elbows and knees to reveal a hidden entryway into an illogical world where caterpillars smoke cigars and knights of old wander around a black and white chessboard? Yeah, and like you eat a lot of stuff and random things happen, I guess. Well, I have already seen a knight during my travels. I guess I'm halfway there already. No matter how much I crawl, the passageway inside the tree seems to stretch on endlessly. The tree can't possibly be this large. Then again, I thought that about Venchapel's forest. I'm not ashamed to admit that I have been wrong about a lot of things today. I mean, who would believe this? This is crazy. I'm starting it up my own sanity. But the smell of earth is thick in my nostrils and loose twigs bite into the pads of my fingers. I know it's another dream. I venture deeper and deeper into this never-ending tunnel. It's so dark I can't see 2 inches in front of my own nose. My fingers grope amongst the darkness, pulling my itching body ever onwards. I don't know where I'm going. I don't know anything. For all I know, I could be wandering into a well-lit trap. But what other choice do I have? This is my only hope. I have to push on. Suddenly, the tight passageway veers to the right. I turn, blinking, and gasp as the ceiling above me opens up. I'm not inside the tree any longer. In fact, I'm not even sure if I'm inside Venchapel's forest. I haven't been sure of that for the last couple of hours. I emerge in a forest clearing, hemmed in on all sides of thick trees festooned with hanging ivy. People sure seem to like the forest clearings for this kind of fairy things. Birds twitter amongst the branches of the trees, fluffing their feathers, and what feathers! Some of these birds are crimson like rubies, while others are deep blue like sapphires. Their eyes are keen and intelligent, and they regard me with mild suspicion as I emerge, bruised and scuffed and dirty from the darkened passageway. I wonder if these magical gemstone birds appear in any of my grandpa's books. But this clearing appears... Did this clearing appear in any of his maps? I'm doubtful about that, to say the least. The grass is green, studded here and there with wildflowers impossible to name. Bees buzzing from the heavy, drooping heads of these silken flowers, and butterflies hover in the breeze. It's a quiet kind of place, peaceful and relaxing, like a small slice of heaven. Is this clearing part of the real world? Maybe time ticks backwards here, and fish swim in the sky, and it rains sherbet lemons. I wouldn't be surprised, not anymore. I tear my eyes away from the flowers and the butterflies and the birds, searching for, what, I don't know, the way back home. If I had a pair of ruby slippers, I could click them and make a wish, but I haven't run into any fairies, good or otherwise, unless that night counts, or the sun before that. Somehow, I don't think he does. It would be nice if there was a door inlaid in one of these many tree trunks, decorated with fern and ivy, and a wooden signpost pointing back to Grant's home. I guess like the night might be just like somebody who got lost in the woods like forever ago, and like maybe you just don't get hungry or anything. Something like that, I would guess. But there is no door. Yeah, it really does. There is, however, a girl. There we go. She lies against a gnarled tree trunk, her face dappled with the shifting sunlight. Her skin is white and chalky, despite the green light that kisses her cheeks, and her eyes are closed. Her hair is soft hazel color. It's tied up in a green ribbon. In her lap, the girl holds a sheathed sword. The decorative scabbard, inlaid with semi-precious gems, glistens. The girl's fingers hold the scabbard loosely, barely curled about its hilt. Does that sword belong to her? Her lips are pursed, as though in sleep, but she doesn't stir. Not even when I approached her, my clumsy feet disturbing the loose leaves scattered on the ground. The girl looks to be about my age, maybe a little older. She seems almost ageless though. Her legs and arms are entwined with leaves, like a marble statue in an overrun garden. She must have been here for a long time. But how long is that exactly? Hello. I take an anxious step towards the girl. She unnerves me. But she's not half as scary as the night I ran into earlier. If she's a normal human like me, though the mere concept of normality feels like a fleeting illusion in this forest, I can hardly leave her here. And if she isn't a normal human, maybe she can help me. What could go wrong? Oh, a lot has gone wrong so far, but well, story-wise we really want to wake her up. Hello, I don't mean you any harm. Another step forward. A lot of weird stuff happened today. I'm still trying to process it, I guess. Do you know what's going on? Another step forward. Still, the girl says nothing, but maybe that's my fault. What did that disembodied voice say earlier, before all this chaos started? Honestly, I don't even remember well because all the hurry to make the Yuri jump came. It told me to mind my manners, didn't it? About that at least. That I do remember, but I don't remember. Well, I guess like something like, well, because we were rude, we couldn't go back. Well, I guess it's kind of the same thing. I thought that voice was trying to get a rise from me at first. I didn't realize it. It was a threat, with a very real promise of punishment hiding behind it. If I would have known, maybe I wouldn't have been so rude. Though I can always try to make amends. Oh, I'm sorry. Where are my manners? I must have left them back in Grimspy. Not that I have ever been a paragon of politeness. My name is Mani Lennox. It's very nice to meet you, Miss, I'm sorry, but I don't know your name. Could you tell me it, please? She's sleeping though. I take my short skirt in each hand and drop a neat curtsy, like I have seen ladies do in the period dramas my mother likes so much. I meanwhile but the gesture probably looks ridiculous, coupled with my torn leggings and my too short skirt. Is that why the girl doesn't move? I guess that's a no-go, huh? Maybe I'm wasting my time. Sorry for bothering you then. I turn my back on the girl. I can't expect too much more from a corpse. Whether she was alive or not, at one point, she clearly isn't anymore. Or you didn't even try, like you could try the pulse or something. And you can always say, like, if she wakes up, like, whoa, I was just like worried that you're like dead. At least that's what I think. Until I feel it. Grass necklace is throbbing. I turn my head, alarmed to find mysterious girl. That girl is moving. Her eyelashes flutter. Then she raises her head slowly, very slowly, like a sleepwalker. When she opens her eyes, I learn that they are an earthy brown, like the soil beneath my feet. Her gaze meets mine, her brows furrows. Okay, let's hope she's not going to slice us too. Fair lady, are you the one who woke me from my slumber? Fair lady, you mean me? Indeed I do. Who else would I be speaking to? You are the only person here other than myself, and you are certainly fair. Is she like flirting right off the bat, or is that just like being polite? Well, I duck my head, my cheeks turning pink. Though why I feel so embarrassed, I can't fathom for the life of me. I'm used to being called Barbie, a Rapunzel, and a dozen other things besides. But I had never once been called a fair lady. It sounds old-fashioned and arcane, like something from an Arthurian myth. But that sort of language seems to suit this girl. But surely like it's not that old. Like surely you could have used it in the 19th century and maybe in the early 20th too. Well, I guess you can still use it like in the right circumstances, but it is like, yeah, kinda not today's language. There's something very dignified and noble about her, almost like she's a knight herself. Well, I think she is. At least I hope she is. Thanks, I guess. You do not need to thank me. I was merely stating the facts. Really though. The girl yawns. I do feel quite exhausted. I remember I was strolling around these woods with Maponus, and then I was overwhelmed with fatigue. Who is Maponus? Is Maponus the guy, the knight, other knight? Or is it something else? Like it sounds kind of like a horse or something, but I would assume it is the guy. Like Maponus sounds kind of like Epona. Like the same kind of style somehow. I lay down to rest for a while in this charming glade, but it appears I have been asleep for quite some time. Yeah, she's kinda like looking at her like, what are those clothes, I guess. The girl affixes her sword to her belt, then rises to her feet and looks about. You did not happen to see Maponus when you were walking through the woods, did you? My goodness. Who's that? Why, he's my beloved stallion. Oh, it is a horse. Okay. He has been by my side since I was just a young girl. Younger even than you. I'm not that young, you know. I'm already 16. 16, is it? The girl looks me up and down. You don't look it. I assumed you were younger. Yeah, people do that. Then I apologize if I upset you, my fair lady. Though I must say, you're nothing like any lady I have ever met before. Yeah, not quite. Like she's a goth and like... Yeah, this kind of style like would have been something different in the medieval times. What clothes are those you're wearing, might I ask? The cut is quite unique, and the patterns too. I'm just wearing a shirt and a skirt, that's all. Why is he staring at me like that? A skirt is it? How strange. I've never seen anything like it in my life. Yeah, in the medieval times, like skirts were much longer. Is that a bad thing? It is unusual, yes, but I do not think it is bad. I have never been one to care much about appearances, even my own. My brother scolded me. I said it was my most unladylike. And well, my manner of dress is quite unconventional too. Also like... Oh. Let me see. There we go. Okay, it is like a tunic kinda outfit, or maybe like a dress kinda outfit, but well, also like the bottom part is like pretty short for something medieval, I guess. But I couldn't see it like through the textbook, so I was like wait, is she also wearing a skirt that is as short, but not quite. I've never been that interested in playing the role of a pretty maid. It gets so tedious, you know. So, my fair lady, might I ask for your name? It's Manny Lennox. Manny, is it? What a curious name. Everything about you is unusual. From the way you speak to the way you dress, so I suppose your name should be no different. Like, I'm not sure like how old of a name Manny is. In fact, it would be tedious if your name were something commonplace like Hild or Adelburga. Part of me want to ask, in what universe Hild and Adelburga are commonplace? But I think I know already. This girl looks corporeal enough, and I'm talking to her like I would any of my classmates. But there's nothing normal about her. She's not from my time, and she doesn't belong in my world. She might appear to be young, but I'm prepared to bet she's been sleeping in this forest for hundreds upon hundreds of years. Well, as I have asked your name, would you care to return the favor? Oh yes, you're right. I'm sorry, what are you called? I'm pleased you asked. My name is Leof. It is a pleasure to meet you. Let's actually drink while at it. So like what's going to happen next? Like I guess they'll try to get out of the forest and well, I guess they could try to find the other knight because he was all about protecting Leof. That would kinda make sense, but like yo, I guess they would be explaining first like yeah, that knight guy talking about you was chasing me and stuff like that. Oh, how long has it been since I last felt the sunlight on my face? Leof holds her arms up in the air, the hem of her cowl fluttering in the breeze. Leof's clothes are made of a coarse-looking material I can't quite determine. Her shirt is green and it's cinched in about the waist with a leather belt, while her legs are clad in brown trousers. Yeah, I guess it is just tunic then, like she is. Like it's not a dress, like it is just tunic and she is wearing like trousers. Kinda makes sense. It makes sense, but like it's not like a medieval lady look at all. I don't know where her outfit came from, but one thing's certain, I'd never find something like that in Primark. She looks like a waxwork doll from the Time Trap Museum come to life. She looks like a... oh, or maybe a LARPer. No, that I guess. The wind feels nice and cool, and the air smells so sweet. It really is wonderful. I take it you don't get out much, huh? I haven't had the chance. I don't know how long I was asleep for, but it must have been quite a while. Try more than 1,000 years on for size. I don't think even Sleeping Beauty slumbered for quite that long. She had a handsome prince to waken her from her narcoleptic curse. But I'm no prince. I'm just an average teenage girl with a healthy appreciation for Killstar and American Horror Story. This may be a curious question, but I simply must know, what year is this, my fair lady? Well, this is the 21st century. The 21st. Are you sure that is correct? You are not trying to trick me, are you? No, why would I do that? It might be a lot to take in, but I'm going to be completely upfront with you. It is 2018. 2018, my goodness. I have been asleep even longer than I realized. I thought perhaps a decade or two had passed, a century at most, and yet. But this is like interesting, like. Well, actually, like it is kinda similar to Heart of the Woods, like with one of the characters, like not knowing how the modern world goes. I can see a similarity there, but that was also interesting. So I hope they explore it a lot more here. That would be nice. It would appear I have much to catch up on. Yeah, for sure. Just a bit, yeah. And yet, I can speak the same language as you, and I can understand you more or less perfectly, certain phrases aside. How can that be, unless language has remained static for centuries, This doesn't make any sense. Well, not like perfectly static, but English has probably stayed more or less the same. Though of course, it makes no sense to begin with. It's simply not possible for a person to sleep for centuries. I should by all rights be dead, but I feel as alive as that bird or that tree. Yeah, but I do like this. I don't know if it's even a trope, like it is pretty rare from what I have seen, I guess. Or maybe not, like it is probably a trope in anime or something for sure. But I do like this kinda thing, it is interesting. This must be because of magic. Magic. Yes, indeed. Everybody knows that this forest is enchanted. The ground is lush with mana, and fairies offer favors to those they take a liking to. Yeah, I guess. Well, they punish you if they don't like you, I guess. Was I blessed by the fairies too? So Leof is another proponent of the fairy camp Easy. I should introduce her to Gran. They'd get along swimmingly. I have slept for a long while, but I certainly feel refreshed. That is one good thing, at the very least. Leof stretches her arms above her head, smiling all the while. I must say, she's taking this remarkably well. Is that because she's from the time where magic was accepted as a matter of course, or is she just thick-skinned? I do wonder what has happened to Mappinus, but he is a clever horse. I'm sure he will be fine. That is, if he isn't long dead by now. Yeah, not sure how the forest works for animals. Not sure, but it could be the case. But this is no time to be sad. Not when I feel so free for the first time in, well, I don't know exactly how long it has been. That is the issue really, but look. Ma. The leaves on the trees are so very lush during this time of year, and the birds have never sounded sweeter. The whole forest is in full bloom. Well, it is the middle of the summer. The summer, is it? That is my favorite time of the year. Yeah, might have been a little yikes to wake up during the winter. Everything is so grey and dreary in the winter, and there is never enough food to eat. People up and down the country go hungry, waiting for the harsh snowfall to thaw. But summer is a time of new life and laughter. Leo practically skips through the forest, her chestnut hair fluttering behind her. His woods have not changed one bit. They are just as I remember them. I'm glad you seem to know where you're going at least. Oh, of course. I have a good sense of direction. You need not worry. I can navigate these beaten tracks like the back of my hand. I will get us out of these trees in no time. Oh, that would be convenient. If my memory serves me well, there should be a settlement beyond these trees. I guess settlement is one way to describe it. Though that puts me in mind of makeshift houses built from wood and mud. Chapel isn't too far from here. At least it shouldn't be. I'd been trying to find it for hours until I stumbled upon you. And I am very pleased you did, though I am curious about this so-called Chapel. I do not think I have ever heard such a name. Oh, that's what the village, settlement is called now. I guess it went by a different name back in your day. Whenever that was. My grandma lives in Chapel. I told her I was going for a walk a few hours ago. If I don't get back soon, she'll be worried sick. Your grandmother. My goodness, then we had better make haste. Do not worry, Lady Mani. I shall return you to your grandmother in due course. As a knight, it is my duty to protect others. Right? I eyed off hesitantly. She's a strange girl. There's no doubt about it. Nothing about her feels quite right, from her clothes to the lilting cadences of her voice. I can't quite place her accent, but it's not the same northern drawl as my mother's side of the family, or the slightly lesser RP accent of my Lennox relatives. What is like RP? It's like surely it's not role play. Where is she from? Island, Wales. I'd used her name to leave me a hint, but Leof doesn't sound like any name I have ever heard of. I don't know, like if I had to guess, like it would be Wales or something, but I have no idea. Perhaps she really is from around Chapel, like my father's side of the family. But a Chapel from hundreds of years ago, when the English spoken was very different. And there was no such thing as standardized spellings. I guess like there could also be like an argument that maybe she's just like from here, because if she's from Wales, then wouldn't she speak Welsh instead of English? So I don't know like how it went in the medieval days. Nothing about this girl is standard, but though she has no place in my ordinary life, her presence is strangely comforting. It's just nice, I guess, to have somebody else with me, even if that somebody else is the strangest stranger I have ever met. Now let us be on our way. There is no time like the present. We would be faster if we had ponies with us, of course, but never fear, I shall guide us well and true. You sound so sure of yourself. But of course, I am a knight, and you are my chance. It would not do to show you so fear before a fair maiden. So fear before a fair maiden. Well, there was also that other knight who tried to kill us, so there are not like no guarantees about knights being able to do good things. You're a maiden too, you know. In body yes, but in spirit, who knows? I was forever being chastised in my youth for acting out of line, particularly by my brother. He said it was unseemly for girls to swing swords around. I know he only had my best interests at heart, bless him, but it was quite aggravating that he never deigned to take me seriously. He really should have, given how often I bested him in combat, despite being his junior. I hope, in this day and age, the 21st century, or so you said, women are allowed to carry swords without being castigated. We're not sure about the sword thing, like there are, like, more rights, but wielding a sword probably isn't it? Well, I cast a surreptitious glance at the scabbard hanging from Leof's burnished leather belt. In this century, nobody is allowed to carry a sword around, man or woman. You'd be arrested if anybody saw you with that thing. Arrested. Apprehended. It's a type of punishment. You mean I would be paraded through the streets and flocked to within an inch of my life? No, I wouldn't go that far. I don't know much about the Dark Age or wherever it is Leof's coming from. But the justice system sounds pretty hardcore. That's like something you'd expect to see in a 9-inch Nails music video. You'd probably be put in prison though, or fined at the very least. Yeah, I doubt about the prison thing. Like jail, but not prison. Swords are dangerous weapons. People aren't allowed to carry them as they go about their daily lives. It would make everybody uncomfortable. It makes them uncomfortable, but why? I can understand being concerned if this sword belonged to a brigand. But I am a noble knight. Well, you never know. Never know these days. I would never dream of harming the innocent. I only carry this with me to protect others. And maybe that was socially acceptable back in like 880, but it isn't now. The times have changed. You have got to get with it. I see. I cannot say I understand this reasoning, but if that is what Bernicia has decreed, I suppose I must obey. Well, it's what the government's decreed. The government. The people who govern there, you know what. Never mind. I'm not all that good at politics myself. I hardly ever watch the news. I think it's too boring for words. It's just a bunch of old men in suits arguing with one another, all while trying to be as vague as possible. Yeah, the only thing I know about British politics is like people going like yeah when somebody talks, and then like silence, like something like that. I am so not the right person to educate Leof about the intricates of British politics, but neither am I. Like, this is based on like what I saw like during the COVID on news. It might not be like the best example of British politics. Hopefully. I will carry my sword with me while we walk through the woods for protection. You understand, but I shall conceal it when we return to the nearest settlement. Does that sound pleasing to you, my lady? I guess it sounds pleasing, yeah, but how are you going to hide that thing? The elf's attire is rather simple, and it doesn't look like it has any pockets. Not that you'd be able to fit the sword in a pocket, of course. They'd be pretty bulky. Lev doesn't seem concerned by this minor logistical issue, however. Her smile only widens as he says, "It is a simple matter, observe." Lev rests her hand against the hilt of her sword. She mumbles something subtly beneath her breath, in a strange language I can't pass, and then... oh! In a cloud of ghostly light, the sword melts away from her hip. One moment it was there, and the next. How did you do that? I know I shouldn't be too impressed by this little display. Leo's mere existence is shocking enough, but I can't help but stare at the place where her sword should be. If I had any doubts before, they have since been swept away. Magic really does exist. It is quite simple. My sword was bestowed upon me by the fairies. It has a few interesting properties. As you saw with your own eyes. It's convenient, isn't it? Okay, so the sword is magical, but she might not be able to like cast fireballs or stuff, I would assume. That's right, very. It would sure make hauling the shopping bags back home easier. I'm not entirely sure what you mean, but if I can aid you in any way, I would be glad to do so. Well, like we can see if we can go shopping and then carry the thingies together. Oh, what did I press? You could as well say while at it. I am not particularly skilled at anything save swordplay, but I would lay my life down to defend yours, my lady. Lev takes my hand in her own, a sweetly earnest expression upon her face. I am in your debt. I appreciate the sentiment, but it's fine. I don't want you dying for me. I'm not worth it. But you are. I am only here because you awoke me. Though how, I do not know. You must have used some very powerful magic. I can't use any magic. I'm just money. Come now. You are being modest. You must be a talented mage. You used your skills to grant me life anew, and as such, my body now belongs to you. Hey, don't say things like that. Like what? Like that. If Leov keeps saying stuff like that, steam's going to start pouring from my ears. My poor heart can't keep up. For a girl who hails from time before exfoliating cream and toothpaste were commonplace, Leov's unfairly pretty. Her hair is glossy and her eyes are fringed with long eyelashes, and her skin is even smoother than mine. In fact, it almost looks like she has been overlaid with a perpetual beauty filter. Is that also thanks to the blessing of the forest fairies? She must be beloved by all the strange beings that lurk in Venchapel's forest. But why then did they leave her to sleep in that secret glade for centuries? What happened to her? Did she fall a fall of some vicious black magic or else? Leof, where are you, Leof? Ah. I turn, extricating my fingers from my companions, and come face to face with a new threat. It's the knight who accosted me by the lakeside. He's come back. He arrived so suddenly, without any telltale footsteps. I had to wonder if he was magicked out of thin air. Okay, well now we can hopefully settle the misunderstandings. It wouldn't be the first time today. I have seen things appear and disappear when they shouldn't. But the guy said that he was upset about, like, a supposedly bad-mouthing Leof, so supposedly he's on the same side as us. And not like the enemy from the past. This forest doesn't obey the laws of physics. Objects which should remain corporeal can vanish without a moment's hesitation, and humans can tumble through cracks in reality itself. This is all so strange. I'm starting to wonder what's really real and what isn't. It feels like a dream. But my ankle still aches, and I'm covered in bruises, and I know it isn't. This avenging knight tried to kill me once before, but he was unable to fulfill his goal. He has come back to finish the job. That night, I take a trembling step backwards, my legs struggling to support my weight. A good thing Leof is, like, probably trying to defend us. At least based on what she said earlier. He chased me. He said he was looking for Leof, and then... But you... That's your name, isn't it? Well, good call there. Indeed it is. Then he was looking for you. I would not be surprised after all. He's my own dear brother. Oh I see. You, I glanced between the knight and Leof, my eyes darting back and forth in their sockets. I can't see any family resemblance, but then again, I can't see the knight's face. I can only see the barest slither of his eyes, peeking out from his helmet. You know him. I used to know him, but he does not seem to be the brother he once was in life. My dear Edmund. My poor, foolish brother. I suppose I could consider myself fortunate that I can reunite with him after all these years, but he does not seem to be himself. But maybe the amulet works on him too. He must be under some kind of enchantment. He would never have attacked you otherwise, Lady Marnie. I apologize on his behalf, and I shall try to talk him around. I only hope my voice can penetrate through the fog. Theo stands before Edmund, until the two long-lost siblings are face to face. She looks at him imploringly, one hand pressed against her chest, and says, Edmund, please, listen to me. Do you recognize me? The knight, or Edmund, as I suppose his name is, looks Leof up and down. His helmet winks beneath the green sunlight, his movements slow and heavy as he considers. Leof. Yes, I am your sister. Do you not remember me? You were forever justicing me when we were younger. You said being a knight was no profession for a woman, but I never listened to you. I was a very naughty, ill-behaved sister. I caused you a lot of grief. I won't apologize for my actions, for I still believe I was right. But I hope you can forgive me for worrying you so. Edmund surveys Leof silently. It must have been centuries since the siblings last saw one another. But there are no joyous cries, tearful eyes, or tender embraces. Atmosphere in the forest seems to plummet 5 degrees. Even the birds nestled among the trees stop singing. The tall, uncut grass sways at my feet. In the wind, I swear I can hear faint voices whispering. Be wary, wary, traveler. All is not as it seems. Do not be too quick to trust. But nothing in this forest is as it seems. Everything is upside down and topsy-turvy. And Leof is the only one I have to cling to. She's the only one I can really rely on. Edmund might be her brother, but he acts as no brother should. Instead, regards Leof with stony suspicion, his fingers resting upon the hilt of his sword. No. Yes, Edmund. Do you not recognize me? I am your sister. No, you are not. You are not my Leof. But I am, I swear it, on your mother's life. On our mother's life, I guess. You know nothing of my mother, she is already dead. So soon will you be. I will not fall for the same trick twice. I was never known for my smarts, but I am not stupid. I don't know about that, like this seems kinda not the greatest move. Now you will pay the price for your pretenses. I will tear apart anybody who takes my sister's name in vain. But I'm not, Edmund, please. But Edmund doesn't listen. He is so deeply entrenched in his own madness, Leof's words can no longer reach him. He draws his sword, then dashes forward, ready to deal a decisive blow upon his own sister. Leof, do not worry, my lady. I can handle this much. Leof dances around about her brother's blade. His sword rends the air, leaving Leof herself unscathed. She's a lot more nimble than I imagined. Her every step is light and graceful like a dancer's. Though she's only been awake for half an hour, she easily runs rings about her brother. Alas, my poor brother, you are too slow. You could never best me when we sparred as children. It shall be the same here too. Leof's fingers reach her own blade. Though she banished it once before, it appears anew in her hands, emerging from the ether in a burst of bright white. Edmund raises his sword to strike another blow, but Leof parries him expertly. Their blades clash, steel against steel, ringing through the forest. So you have stolen not only her name, but her sword. What else of hers have you taken, foul monster? I will retrieve it from you by force. I have stolen nothing. This sword is truly mine. Just as you are truly my brother. That cannot be true. Stop filling my head with your lies. Edmund strikes again and again, but his movements are slow and ponderous, compared to Leof's. He can't hope to match her. Leof, meanwhile, almost seems to be enjoying their bout. It does feel good to move my body again. Leof dances expertly about her brother, weaving and ducking between his thrusts. Edmund is moving more quickly now, but what he has gained in speed is traded for accuracy. His strikes are frenzied, but they fail to land. Leof jumps back, avoiding his sword, and thrusts like a fencer. Her blade clangs against Edmund's, and his daggers winded. Your skills still leave much to be desired. You might be older than I am, but I have more determination. I will claim this victory, just as I bested you all those years ago, when we were young. Cease your pretenses, you fool witch. We never spent time together. How dare you steal the memories I shared with my sister? Edmund lunges forward, but his movements are wild and sloppy. Leof parries the strike with ease. Swords clash, sparks fly. Leof is smaller than Edmund, but he can't push her back. The heels of her shoes are wedged firmly against the ground, and her eyes are narrowed with resolve. Edmund, please. I am telling you the truth. Why can you not see who I am? Why will you not open your eyes? Enough, I cannot keep listening to this. You are trying to poison my mind. Yeah, kinda sounds like some guys who are like woke mind virus kinda talk or something. Edmund draws back, sword in hand, and surveys his sister, easily searching for an opening perhaps. His determination hasn't wavered, despite being unable to land a single blow. He really does mean to kill Leof, but why? What did she do? She told me that I would face challenges upon my quest, but I must cut them down in order to reclaim my sister. It must be one of those trials sent to test me. Yeah, but if you assume like that every time, like, you will fail at some point and like slay the real sister, it's not like the best strat to do this. Who are you talking about, my dear brother? And your whose influence have you fallen? That I cannot say. I will not say. I will not engage in pleasantries with an impostor who has stolen my sister's name. Edmund charges anew, but Leof deflects his strike. Leof's chest is now beginning to rise and fall. Her breathing sounds ragged and worn. It looks like she's flagging, but she continues to parry her brother's blows. If it weren't for the cool wind on my face, not the long grass brushing my ankles, I almost think this was a scene from a movie. A plucky young girl who dreams of being a knight, single-handedly bested an armed warrior in vicious combat. It really is incredible. But I know if Leof makes a single misstep, her life will be on the line, as will mine. If Edmund kills her, he'll soon come after me, and I don't have any means of defending myself. I'm the weak link in Leof's otherwise impenetrable defenses. And I think Edmund knows that too. Hopefully not. Very well. If you insist upon fighting back, then I shall reply in turn. I will end your miserable life, and that of your companion too. They escaped from me once, but not again. I won't let any of you monsters get the best of me. My companion, you don't mean. No, Edmund, wait. Edmund does not wait. He is no longer glaring at Leov. His sword raised, with the intention to kill. Instead, his eyes, obscured in the shadows of his helmet, are fixated upon die, vile monster. No. I duck, holding my hands against my ears, as though this might somehow protect me. Though I know, of course, that it's useless. I'm no knight, unlike Leov. I'm just Marnie Lennox, an ordinary girl who can barely jog one length around my school without collapsing. I thought I was ordinary at least. But it looks like my death will be the stuff of fairy tales. I'll be run from top to bottom by a night, deep in an enchanted forest where pixies and sprites dwell. It sounds almost romantic. I bet there's a whole bunch of airy fairy poems written about that exact concept. As far as let's go, it's kind of aesthetic. I could get behind it, but the finishing blow never comes. Instead, I hear a sharp gasp of pain a little above my head, and then a few drops of moisture bead on my cheek. Rip. No, I guess it became Yandere game again, I guess. I look up, eyes wide, staring. Yev is standing before me, sword in hand. Her face is chalky white, and her brow is twisted with consternation. Though she holds her sword tightly in her hands, there's no blood upon her blade. Instead, rivulets of crimson blood trickle down her right arm. It leaks from her shoulder in gouts, staining her fingers like bad Halloween makeup. She jumped between me and Edmund just in time, but she wasn't able to parry his blow with her sword. Instead, she took the fatal blow with her own body. Well, rip, I guess. It was nice to see you for one episode. She used herself to shield me. Now her shoulder's been cut clean open. Leov, are you alright? I'm fine. Leov winces, a faint sheen of sweat beading on her forehead. It is nothing fatal, just a scratch, really. I have suffered once far, far worse. This is nowhere near enough to bring me down. But you're bleeding. I know, but in a way, I am almost glad for it. Spilling blood for the sake of a fair maiden is an honor for any knight. And at least this lets me know I really am alive. I was asleep for a long, long time, but no more. You might be my brother Edmund, but I will make you rue the day you turned your blade on my lady. That's a coward's gambit, and for that you will pay the price. Leo charges forward. She parries another one of Edmund's incoming blows, and then another and another. The wound in her right shoulder is gapping open, but she doesn't relent. Instead, she continues driving forward relentlessly. She's enraged, incensed, and she looks utterly captivating. Well, I suppose that could have gone better. Liev sighs as she gingerly presses her fingers against her shoulder. The wound is a deep one. It gapes open, revealing soft red flesh, like the inside of a pomegranate. Despite her injury, Liev was eventually able to drive off Edmund. Perhaps knowing this was a fight he could not win, Liev's blade sheared right through his stomach. Then he disappeared. Following Edmund's less than honorable retreat, Liev collapsed on a nearby tree trunk to tend her wounds, and that more or less sums up the last frantic 5 minutes. I had hoped I would be able to show you my skills as a knight too. It is most unseemly allowing oneself to be run through like a fish. I don't think you were unseemly. That is very... Oh. Press the button too early. Let me press the back thingy. That is very kind of you, my fair lady. But you need not fuss over my feelings so. I am a knight, and I can handle your criticism. I don't know, like, how much did, like women criticize knights really? Like, imagine, like, going to a battle and then, like, getting, like, one scratch and the ladies on the streets go gossiping, like, by the way, that guy got hit a little bit during the battle. Like that kind of thing. But I would expect not. I could have deflected that blow if only I had been more careful. But when I saw him ready to attack you, I was unable to think. I was afraid you were going to be hurt. That's nice of you, but you hardly know me. Would you really be willing to risk your life for my sake? That is what I said, is it not? As a knight, it is part of my duty. I can feel my cheeks turning pink. I had never heard anybody say they'd die for me before, let alone a person I have known for about an hour. It's kind of flattering, I guess, but there's something pretty intense about it. Aren't we basically strangers? My clothes are in ruins. They are quite ruined. Should you really be worrying about your clothes right now? You're covered in wounds. Oh, I can take care of that. Liev sounds awfully confident, but I'm not so sure. I don't know much about the state of healthcare system back in the medieval era, but from what little I gleaned in my primary school history lessons, it wasn't all that great. You're not going to tell me you're a qualified doctor too, are you? No, I am not. But I trust that the fairies of this forest shall protect me as they always have. See. Leaf presses her fingertips against the wound. I watch mouth agape as her split skin slowly begins to mend itself before my very eyes. Okay, well, I guess she has like a little bit more magic than just the sword. The flow of blood stems and her flesh knits itself back together like one of Grant's nutty old scars. What in the... I know it's pointless to ask, but how did you do that? Magic. Of course, right. It's magic. I mean, why wouldn't it be? I think I can feel the beginnings of a headache. I think I need to sit down. Oh dear, you are not suffering from sunstroke, are you, my lady? Your skin is awfully pale, and it's quite a hot day. You should be careful, else you will start to blister. Don't fuss about me. You're the one who was hurt. I'm not usually so sad. When you're short like I am, you have to be scrappy or people walk all over you. But when I'm with Leaf, I don't know, it's hard to know how I should act. Maybe it's because it's so unlike anybody I have ever met before. It's kind of off-putting. Does your shoulder still hurt? The wound is closed, so it should stop bleeding, but I fear I will need some time to recover. While I can still hold the sword, it would be unfortunate if we were to run into yet more enemies. I never imagined my own brother would try to kill me though. He must be under the influence of a wicked spell. That is the only explanation for this insanity. I'd like to counter that this deep into the woods, rationality doesn't exist, but Leo's melancholy musing stir a memory inside my chest. I hear a voice myself as I was walking. I heard a voice myself as I was walking through the woods. I wasn't able to identify the speaker. I never had a chance, but it was soft and lilting. I think it belonged to a woman. No, the night guy also said something about she, so maybe it is like the same thing. The speaker's unusual accent sounded quite like Leof's own, as a matter of fact. Birthday, the one who enchanted Edmund. So there is no sense sitting here any longer. Leof gets to her feet, her fatigue seemingly forgotten, and smiles at me. Would you care me to escort you out of these woods, my lady? Our progress was impeded, but we should be able to resume our journey. That's all very well and good, but... I look at Leof skeptically. Is there any other way to examine a night from a bygone era? My arms folded. What are you going to do, Leof? I need to get back to my grand's house, but you don't have anything to do, anywhere to go, do you? Oh yes, I suppose you are correct. If this really is the 21st century, then I have no surviving family here, except for Edmund, of course, and he is not in his right frame of mind. I will have to rescue him, but I cannot do that at the present. First I need to find a suitable dwelling where I might rest. Then, in that case, I nudge the hooked tree root with the tip of my trainer. I feel like I'm going to regret this later down the line, but why don't you come and stay with me? Okay, well, I guess they just get out like that. Nope. My goodness, this is incredible. I know you said the settlement about the forest had changed somewhat, but I never imagined, not in all my days, that it would be like this. Lev looks around the drab, highly uninteresting Fenchapel Street with wide eyes, desperate to drink in every little detail. Not that there's all that many details to take in. Let me drink a little bit. Fenchapel's a pretty small village. It's comprised of a few grey roads, several fields, a dilapidated train station, and a forest that holds far more secrets than first meets the eye. I suppose this street is the high street, but it's hardly a bustling harbor of activity. Establishments that line this road can be counted on one hand. There's a small, privately owned corner shop that sells newspapers and milk and penny sweets. And that's about it. There aren't any grocers or florists or pharmacies in sight, and clothes stores, you can forget about that. Whoever designed Fenchapel obviously decided clothes are for fancy city dwellers, not born and bred Fenchapelians or Fenchapelites, I'm not sure. There's a primary school nearby too, a small red brick building with two symmetrical chimneys on either side. The school is fringed by a small playground devoid of any playground equipment. There are no swings or slides here. Only a few hopscotch patterns drawn on the ground in chalk, ringed by a fence. Since it's the summer holidays, the school playground is devoid of children. A few trees are dotted here and there, their leaves rustling in the summer wind. And that's about it. Fenchapel's a total ghost town, village rather. There's nothing here that's at all interesting, but are these houses made of brick? How ingenious. It must work wonders at keeping in the heat during the winter months. And that building there with the wooden fence. Near points at the primary school with its old-fashioned chimneys and large, lightless windows. It is absolutely huge. It's really not that amazing. Oh, but it is. Somebody of great import must live in that building. I am sure of it. Could it perchance be owned by an important feudal lord? No, it is a school. Or else King of Bernicia himself. No, it's just a school. A school. A place where small children learn how to read and write. Oh, such buildings exist in this era. How marvelous. Tuition must be incredibly expensive though. I suppose only the elite are allowed to attend these so-called schools. No, this is supposedly the UK, so it shouldn't be that expensive, I guess. No, it's free. Everybody goes to school. Really? You are not trying to trick me, are you? No, why would I do that? Love seems confused enough as it is about modern customs. I hardly want to make things worse for her, the poor girl. Not that she seems at all upset by how much the world has changed over the last several centuries. She's staring at her surroundings like a tourist. But Fen Chapel isn't like London. There are no historical monuments or high-rise buildings. Everything's flat and grey and dull. Probably a good starter town for like somebody from the past. Or a village, I guess. I'm a little perplexed about Liav's excitement. But I guess to her, even a tiny village like Fen Chapel must seem like a feat of modern engineering. Everybody has to go to school. We don't have a choice. If we try and skip school. If we do that, we'll get in trouble. The headmaster of my school sent a very stern letter to my parents when I skipped school during sports day back in year 9. I don't even know why he was so angry. It's not like I was missing anything important. Who even cares about sports day? But why would you not want to go to this so-called school? I do not understand. We did not have such things in my time. Only the exceedingly wealthy had anything in the way of an education. The rest of us had to live with our own ignorance, unable to rise up in the ranks. I would have loved to learn how to write my own name, but I was never given the chance. Okay, it is that bad, so she has a couple of things to learn. Well, I guess things must look a little different from your perspective. For as long as I can remember, I have regarded school as a particularly cruel and unusual punishment. I had never thought others might see it as an opportunity. I never thought of as a school as a punishment. So some of the things were kinda useless, but still, like, it is useful to know things and be able to do things. I have been feeling pretty down since my dad dropped me off at Fen Chapel yesterday, but I guess I'm pretty lucky, huh? Yes, indeed. To be born into an enlightened era like this, where people live in brick houses and they are entitled to an education. Well, I guess 2018 was still low-key enlightened, but I don't know about anymore. 2024 and 2025 most likely will not be so enlightened at this rate. I think it is incredible. I was never even able to dream of such a haven when I was younger. The world has come such a very long way. Liv twirls about laughing, her arms are outstretched. Fingers are extended outward like a ballerina's, her right hand smeared with droplets of her own dried blood. But I guess I kinda get the sentiment though, if you have lived in the in the like dark medieval times as a woman, like it must have sucked. Well, maybe there were also like lucky ones, like if you like staying at home and taking care of children and making food, then yeah, then I guess. And if you were born rich, otherwise it must have sucked. A woman emerges from the nearby corner shop, clutching a brown paper bag to her chest. She turns, meaning to pass Leof and I by the school, but when she sees Leof, she plunges and hurries by, well, probably because of the blood. I think she's trying to avoid us, or also maybe because the gut thing, I guess. I can't say I blame her. Leof does look quite the sight, with her wild eyes, and the spatter of blood staining her right sleeve. Yeah, not to mention you two. Hey, Leof. What is it, my lady? Could you like chill with your excitement for 5 seconds? We are getting some funny looks. I don't know if Leof understands half of what I just said. At least she has the good sense to look apologetic. She ceases spinning, her hair rumpled, and laughs bashfully. I apologize, my lady. I know my behavior is rather uncouth, but I cannot help myself. This might be commonplace for you, but it is all rather new to me. It is as though I have awoken in an entirely different world. I feel like the heroine of a mythic yarn. Right back at you, I sigh. Oh, could I like call it in a little bit if there is a good spot? Because it is like 2 hours soon. No, you'll just have to get used to it. I can't have you twirl around like that when we are walking through the street. It isn't safe. You might veer into the road and then you could get hit by a car. Oh yeah, the car thing, like that will be a surprise. A car. Yeah, I wonder like if the word car like goes so like far enough back. Like in the 19th century, like they would call the things drawn by horses cars. There was some kind of them at least. Leof looks at me uncomprehendingly, I groan. But like it could be like a horse carriage or whatever in the like really old English. Or even something else still, no idea. I should have known that would be a whole other can of worms to open. Me and my big mouth. But never mind that one now. We need to hurry back to my grandma's house. Yes, my lady, I am at your service. At least he's obedient. Let's press on, Grand's house isn't too far away. Nothing's far away in Finchapel. This village is tiny. But first, can't you do something about your clothes? My clothes. Dove looks down at her coarse green garb with some surprise. Is there a problem with them, my lady? They make you stand out like a sore thumb, and your arm is covered in blood, for goodness sake. Can you magic yourself up a new outfit, something that blends in a little better? I apologize for disappointing you, my lady, but I cannot comply with that request. Why not? If somebody else sees her covered in gouts of blood, they might think a violent murder has taken place. I don't want anybody calling the police. Then Leof will discover firsthand what happens to people who break the law. I do not precisely know, but my magic does not work like that. I can make my sword appear and disappear at will, for it has been enchanted by sylphs. But alas, I have no other clothes to change into. Yeah, well, probably the best to keep them. Otherwise YouTube won't like this, where this is going. If you wish me to wear something else, you will need to procure the necessary items for me, my lady. Oh, I see, of course. I mean, why would magic work the way I want it to? That would be way too convenient. How am I supposed to introduce Leo to my grandma now? Okay, let's call it a day here, I guess. Should probably be a good spot. Next time we'll see what grandma thinks, I guess. But it is interesting. Like, it is going to the dark zone, I was hoping. And that's good at least. So, well, let me see if the... Oh, didn't mean to do this. Let's try this. 1555 out of about 6k. So we are 1/4 into the game or something. Something like that. It's going to be a little while, but I don't mind. This is pretty fun. But yeah, thanks for watching and for the comments and everything. It was a blast. Or I might do a stream tomorrow too, because, well, couldn't do last week. Well, there was the development stream, but I want to play this more. So see you tomorrow or whenever. Thank you for watching and bye bye.